This time last year, I put out a post on social media ranking all of the champions from 2019. And this year, we're gonna do the same thing. Only this time, we're doing a video as well. It's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to start from my least favorite character of 2020 going all the way up to my favorite character of 2020. Now, the only thing I need to say before we get started is if you're going into this video thinking that this is going to be a list of who the best characters are in the game, statistically, attack-wise, whatever, that is not what this video is about. This video is a list of my favorite champions, ranking who I enjoyed the most, who I was most excited for, the characters I love the most, and while yes, their stats and whatnot do have are a factor in this, that's way down on my list, to be honest. I play this game to have fun, to play the characters that I enjoy, so that's what I'm focusing on with this list. So hopefully that doesn't deter you from watching this video, but I just want you to know that is not what this video is about. This is not ranking statistically who the best champions are of 2020. This is just a list of who my favorite champions are of 2020. So with that out of the way, let's get this started. Now, early on into 2020, I thought I knew who was going to be my least favorite character of the entire year. I thought there was no way that any character could come out for the rest of the year that I would dislike more than this character. But Kabam proved me wrong. Almost at the very last minute possible, they proved me wrong. Starting us off in the 25th spot of 2020 is Immortal Abomination. Abomination is a great word for him because he is just one of, if not the ugliest character in the game right now. But that is not the only reason this guy is at the bottom of the list for me. He is just boring. I really don't care for him at all. I'm not a huge Abomination fan, so I certainly didn't need a second Abomination in the game, and let alone one that's even uglier. But yeah, I was not excited at all for this champion. There was no hype around him at all. I kind of saw him when I first saw his picture through the content creator program. I just kind of went, oh, no thank you. So yeah, he's just a boring character, just ugly all around. I don't care for just the character itself, so that is why he's the very bottom of the list this year. The one thing I do like about him actually is it's a really weird thing to point out, but the texturing to his body, the scale texturing, I think looks really good, and if anything, all this really does for me is get me excited for the fact that we could have a really cool looking lizard coming down the line if this sort of player model texturing, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the terminology, but basically I think a lizard, if he were to come out, would be really awesome looking with this scaling design, whatever you want to call it. But other than that, I really don't care about the character, and that is why he is bottom of the list for 2020. Following Immortal Abomination in the 24th spot is the character I thought would be bottom of the barrel this year, and that is Mojo, another extremely ugly character that came into the game this year. Now, I know Mojo is a good character. I know he is a pain on defense and an absolute character. I hate fighting him all around, but I just don't like the character Mojo, so for me, he is not a fun character at all. Another character that when he came out, I just went, oh, great. I understand he's a very important character in the Marvel Universe, and I know that a lot of people were excited for him, but for me at least, I don't care about him at all. He does have some fun animations when it comes to like his third specials, when he's attacking with a third special and getting hit by a third special, but other than that, I do not care about him at all. I understand he's good, but he's just not fun in my books, so that is why he is second from the bottom on this list. Now, out of all the months in 2020, it's pretty safe to say the driest was November. Neither character was really great, and that is why up next is Immortal Hulk. And I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm not the hugest Hulk fan, the biggest Hulk fan, but I don't know. This guy was just kind of you know, we've gotten alternate Hulks before that are much flashier, much different than your regular Hulk. Like you got Gladiator Hulk, his attacks are completely different. He's got his weapons. He's done up in his armor. You got Joe Fixit, suit, tuxedo, Tommy gun. I love that. But this guy was just really lackluster in comparison to especially a lot of the other characters that came out this year. I understand that he is good in certain situations, and some people do really like him, but he's just not fun in my books. I don't really care for him, so again, that's why he's down towards the bottom of the list. Wolverine Weapon X, while not necessarily a new character in the contest, he is a new playable character in the contest, but, I mean, he is that exclusive trophy champion that I think would be really awesome to get, but apart from being a trophy champion, I don't care about him at all, to be honest. He looks alright. I think the collector in me would love to have him, but apart from that, I really don't care about him. So, yeah, he's just a trophy champion, but one that I really don't care about. So, that's all I have to say about him. In the 21st spot is a character that I feel like I'm putting extremely low. It's not necessarily because he's bad by any means. I don't think I am more neutral on any character this year than I am Hitmonkey. I know, again, a lot of people do like him. He was a character that when he was released, I wasn't particularly excited for. I'd never heard of him before. The idea of a monkey assassin in a tuxedo was pretty cool. But in the end, he was just kind of meh in my books. I don't really have anything bad to say about him necessarily, but I don't have anything overly good to say about him either. So I feel like he seems extremely low on this list, but that's just because so many characters this year were really good and ones that I really liked. So for just a neutral character, it lands him in the 21st spot of 2020. Next up is the very first character that came out this year, Squirrel Girl. Now, Squirrel Girl is a character that I, again, was not excited for. I don't know what it is about the character. I'm just not a huge Squirrel Girl fan, to be honest. I find her, in many scenarios, annoying more than anything. I know, again, a lot of people really like her, but she's just not my favorite character this year. Though the reason she is higher than a character such as Hitmonkey, who was neutral, is when I do actually play with Squirrel Girl in this game, I get a good vibe about her. I like her attacks. Like, just she feels. I get a good vibe when fighting with her. Like, her movements or whatever. I don't know how to explain it. I get a good vibe when I'm actually playing her. But when it comes to everything else, I'm not crazy about her. I don't really like the character. Her attack animations aren't the flashiest. It's weird to say that because I don't really like them. They're not super flashy, but I just get a good vibe. She feels like a smooth character when I'm playing her. I guess that's the best way to put it. But yeah, she's just a character that I'm not a huge fan of, and when I play this game to have fun, and for me, she's not an overly fun character, so that's why she's down here in the 20th spot. Number 19 is a character that I think a lot of people would argue is possibly one of the best characters to come out this year, at least statistically. But overall, I'm just kind of, again, it's another character that I'm just kind of meh on. And number 19 is Tigra. Now, I was excited when she got announced because Tigra is I would say is one of the bigger members of the Avengers. She's not like top of the list, but she usually holds like a leadership role, or she's definitely like higher up there in the ranks of the Avengers. And so I was excited to have her join the contest. But when it comes to her player model and her design and whatnot, again, not my favorite. I understand that she's a very good character, and I'm happy that I do have her as a 5-star, but I also understand that she is a very difficult character to play, and a very difficult character to play well. So maybe that's part of it, is that when, again, I just play for fun, so not necessarily willing and wanting to spend the time to learn a super difficult character. So maybe that's part of the reason why I don't like her as much. I feel like I was more excited for Tigra when she was announced than when she actually came out. I maybe a little disappointed in that area. I maybe had a little higher expectations for her, so that also could be part of it, is that she just didn't meet my high expectations. But yeah, anyway, taking the number 19 spot in 2020 is Tigra. I feel like this next character is going to absolutely destroy my credibility in this video, considering I put them above Tigra. But taking the number 18 spot in 2020 is Airwalker. This guy is not great, to be honest. Statistically, not great, but I think he's a super fun character. His animations are great. I love the flaming wings, all of his special attacks, his third special attack. Oh my gosh, that is the main reason why he's up here. It is just so amazingly badass. Like, I was so excited to see that for the first time. I think he's a really awesome looking character, and when he was first released, he was the character character, at least upon initial announcement between him and Dragon Man, he was the character I was more excited about because neither character I'd really heard about. But from like the initial like little bits that I'd heard about each character and like the promotional graphics or like the teaser graphics and whatnot, he was the character I was more excited about. Of course, as you can tell, in the end, I do like Dragon Man more after getting to play them. But Airwalker is a super flashy character that I think is really fun to play, so that is why he takes the 18th spot. Up next in the 17th spot, we have Apocalypse. And again, I can hear the comments now going, why is Apocalypse so low on your list? I understand, it's Apocalypse. I was excited when he got announced simply for the fact of who he is and how important he is in the Marvel Universe. But just as Apocalypse, the character, I was not excited. I am not an Apocalypse fan. I know he's a super powerful, super important villain in the Marvel Universe, but to be honest, I think he's kind of boring. I know that's weird to say, but he's just not, for me, he's not a super memorable character. It's just like, oh yeah, Apocalypse is a thing. Oh yeah, I know he's super powerful, but meh. But props to Kabam, though, they did make a version of Apocalypse that I think is actually pretty cool. Again, he's not my favorite character, but I think he does look really cool. He's super flashy. Some of his special attacks are really, really awesome, and overall, his appearance, I do like that they went with the extra large player model for this guy, but I do think he looks really cool, but he's just not my favorite character in the world, so he's not high on my list to play him. I think also part of the reason maybe why he's tanking so bad in my rating at least is the fact that when he came out, I was super busy. It was around finals time for me, so when I got him through the CCP, I didn't get to play him all that much. I literally have, I think it's like 3 recordings or 3 recorded fights with him. That's how little I got to play him. So I didn't really get the greatest sample when it comes to Apocalypse. But overall, it's just not my favorite character. So that's why he's so far down on the list. I do understand he is a very important character, but he's just not my favorite character. Black Widow Deadly Origins takes the 16th spot this year. For a Black Widow variant, as so many characters have gotten different variants of them over the years, as a Black Widow variant, I think she's pretty awesome. I love her appearance, again, her special attacks. She's not the flashiest character necessarily, but I think she is super duper fun to play, and she's got some awesome abilities that work fairly well. But again, just maybe not the flashiest character overall, but I think as far as variants go, she is pretty awesome. Apart from that, don't really have much else to say about her. It's more just kind of like, I get a good vibe off of her. There's no real good way to explain that. I just get a good vibe off of her, so that is why she takes the 16th spot. Going from a not super flashy character to an extremely flashy character, in the 15th spot, we have Sorcerer Supreme. Now, Sorcerer Supreme, I haven't been able to play her, again, since I had her in the CCP grant way back in, what was it, March? I can't remember. It's been so long. Was it March, April, May? One of those months. I don't want to say it was April now, but yeah, she's super. When I look back on the footage that I have of her, she's a really awesome looking character. She's super duper flashy. I love fighting her. I would love to have her on my roster, even just as a 3-star, to mess around with her, because she does look super duper fun. And from what I remember, she was super duper fun. But it's just a matter of I haven't gotten to play her too much. But just strictly on appearance alone, I think she deserves this spot. But yeah, I really would like to get her. Kabam, if you're listening, I would really like to get her as a 3-star. So yeah, statistically, I can't really give my 2 cents on her because I don't remember too much. It's been so long since I got to play her and really taken a look at her. But just strictly on appearance and just flashiness and awesomeness alone, Sorcerer Supreme takes the 15th spot. Number 14 is possibly one of the most hated characters that came out this year, or just for the fact of that he to be honest, he really sucks. Thankfully though, he will be getting a buff early next year. In the 14th spot is Terrax. Now, admittedly, I was surprised myself at how high I put him, but when I really thought about it, again, he's another character that I just get a really good vibe off of. Appearance-wise, I think he looks awesome. I love the axe that he carries. I don't know what it is, but watching him swing that thing around when I play with him, he just looks awesome, and having all the little rocks floating around him, it's just a little animation that I think makes him look really, really awesome. Unfortunately, the Heralds of Galactus didn't have the best showing this year. They've all kind of come out just kind of meh. And in Terrax's case, to be honest, he does suck. But I think he's a really awesome and fun character to play. That is, again, the emphasis of this list is which characters are fun to play. And Terrax, in my opinion, he's a very fun character to play. However, the fact that he sucks does drag him down a little bit. But as I said, fortunately, he will be getting a buff very, very soon. So I'm excited to see what that buff will do with him, and if potentially make him a more viable option, meaning I get to play him more, which I will not complain about that at all. In the number 13 spot is a character that for me kind of came out of the blue, at least as far as release goes. Again, it was around the time that I was in finals, or another set of finals in school, and that, so admittedly I think I must have missed all of the teasers that came out for him, because suddenly just in the content creator program they went, here are the new characters for October, and there he was, Red Goblin. I don't know, he's just a super awesome looking character. Again, super flashy, super cool. His glider, I love him. It looks so badass. I'm a huge fan of just the Green Goblin characters just in general, so having a variant of him I think was also really, really awesome. One of my favorite things about him, though, overall, is the laughing pumpkin bombs. Those things are awesome. They look so badass. I think also Kabam was smart at releasing this guy in October, the month of Halloween, spoopy month. So I think he's definitely a Halloween. He gives us definitely a Halloween vibe to him. But yeah, just the flaming goblin just looks so cool. Super fun to play, and I was fortunate enough to get him fairly early on. It was just as a 3-star, of course, but the collector in me was super happy to get him as a 3-star. Again, super flashy, super awesome, super fun character to play. And I mean, it's kind of funny though that the character that comes, I would say the Halloween character of this year takes the 13th spot. I didn't plan it, but that's just how it worked out. But yeah, Red Goblin takes the 13th spot in 2020. Now, in the year of 2020, there were 2 trophy champions that got released this year. The first was Wolverine Weapon X, and the second was Platinum Pool. Now, he is not particularly a good champion. I don't know how else to describe it. He's not necessarily a character that's like, oh, he's a god tier champion or whatever. But again, he's a trophy champion, and one that I think looks really, really awesome. Whereas Wolverine Weapon X, I don't really care to get. Collector in me wants him, but I'm not super fussed about him. Platinum Pool, would love to get him. But unfortunately, I don't think I ever will. Fingers crossed, though, maybe one day it would be awesome. I did get to play him actually through the CCP, the content creator beta recently, which was pretty cool. But it would be nice to have him on my main account again as that trophy champion. But that is the entire reason why I like him. It's just he's a really flashy, awesome looking trophy champion. I do actually like Platinum Pool more than Gold Pool. Just that simple coloring difference. I think the Platinum looks a lot more better on him than the Gold does, and he's that extra little more rare than the Gold Pool. So Platinum Pool, 100% for trophy reasons. That is why he takes the number 12 spot. Number 11 is a character that very few have referred to as the skill Corvus, looking at you, Legacy. Mole Man was one of the 2 characters, again, that came out in March, and to be honest, they were both meh. Statistically, they were meh, 100% meh. They're both getting buffs, which is really awesome. But Mole Man is another character that I just get a good vibe off of. Though he was one I was actually excited for. I do like Mole Man as a villain, and I think he's really cool. And I wasn't sure what to expect when he was announced. I thought it was just going to be this little dude in some sort of, maybe in like a mech, kind of like Howard the Duck. But the fact that they brought on, I can't remember his name. Is it like Giganto? I can't remember if his name, I'll correct myself if I'm wrong on screen, but I think his name was Giganto. This big beast that he rides, and I think looks really, really awesome. It's mainly for the beast that I like the Mole Man character. But again, he's just a super fun character to play. Not particularly good for any reason, but he's just, again, a super fun character to play, one I was excited for upon announcement, and I'm also, again, excited that he'll be getting a buff soon. Hopefully he can become possibly the skill Corvus, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that is why Mole Man takes the number 11 spot for me in 2020. While Mole Man was a character that did have me excited for his release, Sasquatch was a character that didn't. He is, again, a new character that I had never heard of, so I didn't really have anything to expect from the character, which in some ways is nice, going in with no expectations and being able to be pleasantly surprised by what I see, but that's just what happened. He is, again, a super fun character to play. I don't know why, I really like the XL characters that came out this year. I don't know, a lot of them are super duper fun, except for, of course, those first three that were at the bottom of the list this year, but some of the XL characters that came out this month, again, I think are super duper fun. While Sasquatch is not the flashiest character, I do like his animations. It is pretty fun seeing this massive Sasquatch going flying, doing like a flying kick for one of his special animations, and that special 3 with the whiteout blizzard and whatnot, I was super happy to see that. I don't know why. I don't know why. There's no particular reason why I enjoyed it. I just did, and again, it's another character that I get just good vibes around, and then on top of that, he is a good character, so you can't knock that. But main reasons I like him is, again, he's just a fun character and I enjoy playing him. But again, he wasn't one that I had the highest expectations for, which is maybe why he got so high on this list, because he surpassed my expectations when I didn't really have any to begin with. Now, this next character, if at the beginning of the year you had told me that this character was gonna break top 10 in my list this year, I probably would have looked at you and told you were crazy, because when Longshot first came out, I wasn't crazy about him. Again, another new character, so I didn't have any expectations for him going in, but I don't know, I just didn't get a good vibe off of him. I wasn't crazy about his look. His attacks, while fun and creative, weren't necessarily a seller for me. They didn't really sell the character for me. But as time went on, I did come to like him more and more. His appearance grew on me to now where I actually really love how he looks and his animations. And he's, again, a super fun character. It could also be that it took me a really long time to finally get my own copy of Longshot on one of my actual accounts and not as just a CCP grant, so that could be part of it. But he was a character that, again, start of the year, had you told me like in February, March that he was going to be one of my favorite characters of the year, I probably would have told you that you were crazy. But I think time did really do him some good, and yeah, I mean, and then of course on top of that, he's a good character as well, so you can't knock it. He's got some really awesome and fun abilities. But yeah, Longshot takes the number 9 spot in 2020. Taking the number 8 spot is a character that I think is very underrated, especially in comparison to a lot of the other characters that came out this year. Storm Pyramid X, for me, is a lot of fun, and to be honest, I think she's got some really cool abilities. With her combination of Cold Snap and Shock abilities, I think she can be a very powerful, hard-hitting character, kind of like the original Storm. Another character I think that is extremely, extremely underrated. I understand maybe a bit of a glass cannon, kind of same problem with the original Storm. That's maybe why a whole lot of people don't like her, but I think she's got some really hard-hitting attacks and can do a crazy amount of damage, and then on top of that, she just looks awesome. Like, the staff that she carries around looks badass, the attacks that are the combination of the lightning and the ice, like, she looks amazing. Her special 3... oh man, I think that thing just, I don't know, it looks awesome in my books. Like, I don't know how else to put it. She's just a really awesome, fun, like, awesome character in my books, and that is why she places so high. I think a lot of people would argue she should be much lower on the list, but in my books, she's definitely deserves that number 8 spot. Now, earlier we talked about Apocalypse and how he was one of the biggest characters to come to the contest this year, one of the biggest names to join the contest this year, and I would say he was a solid number 2 this year, because there's one character that came out alongside him that I think was the biggest name coming to this year, and the one I was extremely, extremely excited for, and that is, of course, none other than Professor X. Now, Professor X is one that I've wanted to see come to the contest for a long time. I think a lot of people have. Admittedly, I was never quite sure how they were going to bring him to the contest, because for me, when I think of Professor X, I think of the guy in the wheelchair. I think of, admittedly, Patrick Stewart in that wheelchair, which I think would have been really cool to see, a guy in a wheelchair kicking butt. But this version that they went with for Professor X, I think was really cool. A version I personally had never seen before, so I was super excited to see how he was going to turn out. And I love the fact that at the start of each fight, he brings you in. You're not actually physically fighting Professor X. You're having a telepathic telepathic battle, like a mind battle is basically what's going on. And I think the idea that Kabam went with that was really, really awesome. Again, a super flashy character, super just really badass character. And again, I think he was the biggest character to join the contest this year, closely followed behind by Apocalypse. But yeah, Professor X, again, super duper awesome. He's a super good character and one that I want to get on my roster. I don't have him. Even just, again, as a 3-star or a 4-star, just so I can play him and have some fun with him. So again, please Kabam, add that to my list of characters that I want next year, or on my Christmas list, maybe for Christmas, throw a Professor X in there. Thank you very much. But yeah, taking the number 7 spot this year is Professor X. In the number 6 spot, we have a character who is in the same kind of scenario as Longshot. When Red Guardian was first released, I wasn't super crazy about him, again, to be honest, but over time, he definitely grew on me. I am excited for the fact that I have him as a 5-star, unfortunately, not on my main account, but on my second account, so I do get to play him every now and then, and again, I think he's super duper fun. I do actually quite like his player model, or his character model, rather. Again, I wasn't super crazy about him at first. Admittedly, the first half of the year, just wasn't great in my books. As you'll see, a lot of those characters are lower down on the list, but Red Guardian is probably now a standout for me. Again, I think if you told me earlier this year that he was going to be number 6 on my list, probably would have told you he's crazy, but he's definitely a character that has grown on me, is super duper fun, and super duper awesome. So there you go, number 6 this year is Red Guardian. Alright, here we go, top 5. Now, I think if you're paying attention, you should know who it's coming down to here, and I think 4 of the 5 of these characters, I think a lot of people won't argue that they're really awesome, really good characters in the game, but I think number 5 is probably going to be the most controversial of the top 5, and that is Nova. Now, I understand he's not seen as the best character in the game, to be honest, which is kind of unfortunate because he is one of my favorite characters that came out this year. As I said, Professor X, number 1 biggest name to come into the contest this year, closely followed by Apocalypse, and I think I can safely say number 3 for me was Nova, and he was the second character to come out this year. I think he looks awesome. He's super duper fun to play. Like, I love playing him. Like, I only have him as a 3-star, but when I get to play him in arena or in some easier quests when I'm just playing them for rewards and whatnot, he is super duper fun to play. I love how he looks. His animations are absolutely amazing, and he was a character I was super duper excited for. Like I said, for me, he's definitely number 3 as far as big names go, but I mean, I like him more than I like both Apocalypse and Professor X, so in my books, maybe he might be the biggest name to come out, but I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to go, you're crazy putting Nova this high, but he's a character I hope gets a buff in the future. He's got some really cool abilities, some unique features, like how he earns up how he can increase his power bar and whatnot with the dashing and everything. I think it's different. Maybe that's part of why he's not quite liked. It's definitely something different, but overall, just strictly on appearance and just coolness, I don't know, that's not a word, but cool factor alone, Nova definitely takes the number 5 spot for me. Now, number 4 is a character arguably very similar to Nova, and that is Guardian. Now, this is a character, again, I had never heard about coming into this year, and I got excited for him right away, just the fact that he's Canadian, and he's sporting that big old maple leaf, the red and white. I gotta support it. Being Canadian myself, I was super duper excited to have him join the contest, and I'm thrilled that he is an awesome character, and so many people love him in the game. Again, like Nova, super awesome looking character, super flashy looking character. I love even just like his blocking shield, being that maple leaf and whatnot. Looks so awesome. His special attacks are no joke as well. They look absolutely awesome, and I mean, that special 2 hits like a freaking truck. I remember watching in the Summoner Showdown, the one Summoner Showdown I got to see this year. Someone was using him and just absolutely destroyed their opponent, and he is not only a good character, a super fun, awesome looking character, and then to top it all off, I mean, the guy's Canadian. Of course he's gonna be maybe that alone could probably bring him to top 5 for me. Just the fact that he's Canadian, gotta support the guy. But yeah, even that aside, there's so many different factors that make Guardian in my opinion, one of the best characters of this year. He's super duper awesome, love him to pieces. Taking the number 4 spot is Guardian. Now here we go, the top 3. When it came down to who was going to be second and who was going to be third, this was a tough choice, arguably one of the toughest choices for me this year. Number 1 was very, very clear choice for me, but 2 and 3 were very difficult, but taking the number 3 spot this year is Dragon Man. Now, as I mentioned earlier, when Airwalker and Dragon Man first got announced, I was more excited for Airwalker. Through the teasers and what I heard about the character, I was more excited about him. Dragon Man was a character, again, never heard of. There are a lot of characters, you hear me repeating that a lot, but that's because there were so many characters this year that I didn't know about, which was really awesome in some ways. I got to learn about a whole lot of new characters, and Dragon Man was one of them. So because of that, though, I wasn't super hyped about him in the beginning. It was like, okay, let's see what this guy can do. And again, from the teasers and even the images that I got through the content creator program and whatnot, I wasn't super crazy about him. I kind of thought to be honest, I thought he looked a little ugly at first. But then I saw him in game, got my hands on him, got to use him, and boy was I wrong. He is amazing. He looks so awesome, and he's a good character too. Like, seriously, he's a character that I only have him as a 4-star, but I was thrilled to get him as a 4-star. Would love to get him as a 5-star so much. He looks amazing. I don't know how else to explain it. Wait, now I'm thinking, did I get him as a 5-star? I might be totally blanking. I might have him as a 5-star. I think I do have him as a 5-star. I am dumb. I'll stick a screenshot up there if I do have him as a 5-star. I might be totally stupid. I might have him as a 5-star. Oh my gosh, I just now made myself so much more excited about the character. But anyway, yeah, Dragon Man, super duper awesome. He's a fire-breathing dragon who hits like an absolute truck, and he's super duper crazy. I now have to go back and check. Do I have this guy as a 5-star? Man, I really hope I do, because I'm going to be disappointed if I go back there and don't find him as a 5-star. I am now almost certain that I do have him as a 5-star, and I just now got myself so much more excited about him. So many characters in the game, I can't remember who all I have. But anyway, jokes aside, Dragon Man takes the number 3 spot in 2020 for me. Well deserved, an amazing character, and if I don't have him as a 5-star, kabam, please give him to me as a 5-star. Give him to me as a 6-star. I am so close to my first 6-star. Dragon Man as that first 6-star. Oh boy, that would be amazing. But I need to stop talking now because we still got the top 2 left to go over. So without further ado, here we go. Taking the number 2 spot. If you've been keeping track, you know which 2 characters are left. Taking the number 2 spot in 2020 is the very last character to join the contest this year, Spider-Ham. I love this guy. He is so much fun to play. He is wacky, he is cartoony, and that's what I love about him. He's such a fun, flashy character to play with. I love his special attack animations. They're so good. Just his regular attack animations are super duper awesome. I also just love the art style, that like the slightly different art style to his player model than all the other characters in the contest. And also, even just for the month of December, just like the game art that came out around him, like the loading screens and just everything that came out around him just looks super duper awesome. I just love that art style, and I mean, on top of that, he is a good character again as well. Spider-Ham does actually also hold now a very sweet spot in my heart, because he was the very first character that I used to beat Labyrinth of Legends Winter Soldier for the very first time. Now, if you follow me, you know that I am not the best player in the world. Again, I play this game for fun. I don't play it necessarily to be good, and I've never beat Labyrinth of Legends, let alone the first fight in Labyrinth of Legends, but I did do it with Spider-Ham. Granted, yes, it was on the beta. Yes, it was a 6-star. I maybe ranked him up just a little bit, but he wasn't at the max rank that he could be. But regardless, even though it was, there's a lot of people who would argue, well, I made it a super duper easy fight for myself. I don't care. I was super duper proud of that moment, and yeah, he holds a sweet spot in my heart for that reason. But just overall, there's so many other positives around this guy. Again, another character who deserves his spot on my list very, very well. But with all that said and done, we're down to the very final character of 2020. I think it's pretty obvious who it is at this point. There's a character who is obviously missing from this list. I mean, I think if you look at my Twitter profile, it's pretty obvious who my favorite character was, because he is my banner. He is just so beautiful. Cosmic Ghost Rider. I mean, just the fact that he's a Ghost Rider alone probably would have given him, like, top 5. For those of you who don't know, I am a huge Ghost Rider fan. Like, in the Marvel Universe, it is either, I've never been able to decide, but my favorite Marvel character, period, is either Spider-Man or Ghost Rider. So just the fact that he's a Ghost Rider, you know he's going to be way up there. And I mean, if you look at this year, the Ghost Riders beat the Spiders, the Spider People this year. So maybe that's a sign, I don't know. But man, this guy did not disappoint. He is amazing in every way possible. His player model is awesome. His attack animations are awesome. He's a good character. Hits like a freaking truck. And I love him. I was nervous when he did come out because I didn't want him to be super disappointing, because there was a lot of hype around him. I know a lot of people were excited for Cosmic Ghost Rider, but he did not disappoint. He is, without a doubt, the best character, in my opinion, of 2020, possibly the last couple of years. I mean, last year, Mysterio was my top character, or my favorite character of 2019. I think I can safely say Cosmic Ghost Rider definitely beats Mysterio in my book. So, does that mean 2020 was a better year than 2019? Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far. But definitely, it came out with my favorite character probably of the last couple years, without a doubt. I love this guy to pieces. I've never bought a 500 unit profile picture before in the game. I bought that Cosmic Ghost Rider one so fast with no hesitation because I love him. He is absolutely amazing. But there we go. There is the entire list. I'm sure this video is stupid long because I am starting to lose my voice. I need to go get some water. I've been talking for way too long. I wanted to try to keep this short, but that never happens because I just keep going on. But yeah, to sum up 2020 in a whole, as far as the characters go this year, it was definitely a mixed bag. Some characters that, in my opinion, I absolutely do not like and really don't want to have on my roster, despite the fact that I do. And at the same time, some of the most, I think, desirable characters for me in the entire game. But let me know, of course, what you guys think down in the comments below. What is your list for 2020? Who are your top 3? Who are your top 5? However many you want to tell me. Let me know. Maybe give me your whole 25 character list. I'd love to see what other people have to say. But if you did stick around to this long in the video, man, you are amazing. The fact that you tolerate me for this long, you are amazing. I love you. Appreciate you so much. I'm guessing there's probably not too many people here, so the fact that you are here means you are absolutely amazing, and I love you to pieces. But like I said, I need to go get some water, so I'm going to shut up now, and I'm just going to say thank you all so very much for watching. This video ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would be, but yeah, once again, thank you all so very much for watching. That is my ranking of the 2020 champions in Marvel Contest Champions. Once again, thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye, and Happy New Year!